Have you ever had your entire life change on a moment's notice? Mine changed on a phrase. Daddy, it's the bracelet on page 64. That bracelet. Everything began and ended with that bracelet. First, you got to understand it. I am and always was a lousy gift giver. My ex-wife and my daughters would all testify. No matter how much I tried, I could never get the right gift for them. And when I did, they go, ooh and ah, and then they return it 2 days later. So when my daughter was graduating from college, I decided I wasn't going to make that mistake again. So I called her and I said, what do you want for graduation? And she said, it's easy, Dad. I'd love to have this bracelet I saw in this Cosmopolitan magazine. Well, so I thought, that's great. I can find the bracelet. I went to the magazine. I went through every page, and there was no bracelet that matched hers. There were other jewelry. There were other colognes. There was everything else, but there wasn't that bracelet she described. So I called her back, and I said, honey, are you sure I have the right magazine? She said, yeah. It's a bracelet on page 64.
I see everything.
There was some cologne. There was a woman. There was some copy, but no bracelet. I said, honey, there's no bracelet on this. And she said, Daddy, it's at the man's wrist on the corner at the top of page 64. And I said,
I don't see it. I'm trying. I am.
and look, there was no man on page 64. And I said, honey, there's no man there.
Do you even know what a man looks like? I swear, there's no man on the...
And then there was. I mean, he hadn't been there. And it faded in, and he faded out.
I gotta call you back.
He hadn't been there. I mean, honest to God, he hadn't been there. Or had been there, and I just hadn't seen it. Oh, I didn't even want to touch the magazine. I swear. I dropped it on the floor, and I ran out of the house, and I jumped in my car. Something was so awfully wrong. And I drove. I didn't know where I was going to drive. I, honest to God, didn't have a slightest idea. And I turned on Sunset Boulevard, and what I saw there made me slam on my brakes. In almost 20 years of driving Sunset Boulevard, I had never noticed there were billboards on the top of almost every building lining that boulevard. And there were pictures of men in tuxedos, men selling colognes, vacation spots. Marky Mark, for crying out loud. Underwear. So I quickly made an appointment with a psychiatrist. I think I'm going crazy. I mean, I've been married for almost 28 years, and I have a great wife and a good marriage. I mean, better than most, and 2 great children, and yeah, I think I'm gay. And he said, that's something we can deal with. Well, we spent the next 2 years in private sessions, and I found out there was a hell of a lot of things that I had forgotten. Selective amnesia. The saddest was the fact that 28 years ago, when I graduated from college, I told my parents I thought I was gay. And they said, nah, couldn't be. We'll handle it. Don't worry about it. So they sent me to another psychiatrist. And that psychiatrist said, so, you want to be gay? And I went, no. Why would anyone want to be gay? For crying out, who would choose to be gay? Well, who would want to go through a life like that? All right, you don't want to be gay? Here's the treatment right now. Lobotomy. Electroshock treatment. Institutionalization for the criminally insane. Going to New York or San Francisco, where they kind of accept those kind of people. or faking it. Well, you can certainly guess which one I chose.
What he didn't tell me was how painful it would be for everyone you love when you can't fake it any longer.
My wife became my ex-wife. My daughters thought I'd lied to them, and they distanced themselves from me at first. And then my wife got married again, and my daughters came back. And then they met my Ed, the first guy a couple years later that I ever dated. Everybody loved Ed. I mean, even my ex-wife loved Ed. She couldn't stand me, but she loved Ed. And Ed's philosophy was, we got to get this family back together again. And he did it all. So now we all have our Thanksgivings and our Christmases together, and we all celebrate the grandkids. When they go to play, when they're singing in a concert, when they're dancing, we're all there.
The only difference in our grandchildren is they have 2 grandmothers and 4 grandfathers. And 3 of those grandfathers are gay. But that's another story and not my secret to tell.